Buongiorno! It's Martha with Sunset Travel Meals, and I'm still feeling my Italian vibe from my great gourmet Tuscany trip last week. I wish that I had time to tell you all how fantastic the trip was. We cooked, we went to vineyards, we went to wineries. It was fantastic. So tonight we are going to make bruschetta. Now you've seen it spelled and it looks like bruschetta, but we were corrected more than once. It is bruschetta. How do you start? You start with baguette rolls out of your bakery. This was 2 long rolls. We ate half of one of them. And all you do is you make slices about a ½ inch thick. And we're going to bake these in a slow 250-degree oven for about 20 minutes. And when they're, I'll show you in the oven, they going to get hard and toasty like toast on the top. That's how you know they're done. Your oven may not take 20 minutes. Mine, it takes about 20 minutes. We're going to spread these out on the platter, cookie sheet, and this is how. So you can put a whole lot on here. If you ever ate with us at the Two Friends Craft Ball when we owned it in Beaumont, you probably had toasties with every one of your salad sampler meals, because that's the same. It's the same that I'm making today for the base of our bruschetta. Now everybody does. Every place we ate did it a little different. Some it was just bread, just like this. Some it was just toasted with no seasoning on it. But most of them had some kind of Italian seasoning on it, and that is how we made ours at the Two Friends Craft Mall and Tea Room. And so that is also how I'm going to make ours today. So after I get through slicing up the bread, we are going to melt 1 stick of butter in the microwave or on your pan, however you like to do it. 1 stick will do about the amount of bread that I have, about a loaf and a half of a breadstick. Now, does it matter what size breadstick you're using? No, you can use smaller ones. You can use regular size bread if that's what you have. I like this size. I think it's going to make a good little plate for our toppings we're going to put on it. Speaking of toppings, everywhere we went did it just a little bit different, but they were all basically the same. They all had a tomato bruschetta, one with cheese, and maybe one with something else on it. And that's how we're going to do ours also. So, oops, we're going to need another pan for that last one, but let's get our butter out. It's not quite melted. We'll let that melt just a minute. And then when the butter comes out, I'm going to spread the butter on each one of the bread, and then I'm going to sprinkle it with just store-bought Italian seasoning. If you have real dried herbs, that would be 1 notch better. But Italian seasoning has basil, oregano, garlic in it, and that's what we're going to sprinkle on top. Now you can't sprinkle them right on top of the bread. If you want to skip the butter aspect, you can do that. You can just sprinkle it right on top. It will season your bread really nice and give it a little extra zip. Okay. The way we're going to do it is I'm going to mix. My bowl's not hot. I'm going to mix the Italian seasoning into the butter. Just stir it up a little bit. How much do you want to put on each baguette? Again, you don't want them to be sloppy, but you also want them to have a little flavor. I put about 1 teaspoon on each one. So that was 1 stick of butter, about 1.5 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. And again, this part right here is your own discretion. If you think the butter would be a bit much, maybe you don't want that much fat intake, leave the butter off. Just sprinkle some seasoning on it and toast them a little bit. Again, it's going to take about 20 minutes in a 250-degree oven for them to get nice and toasty on the top. I'll show you how it looks. I'm dribbling this butter all over the counter. But this is, you'll see what it's going to take just about all my butter for this loaf and a half of baguette. Now, can you make it out of other kind of breads? I said earlier you can use, if you have some old bread, you have some stale bread, it would be perfect, because you don't want a light and fluffy bread. You want it to be a little dense like these. Okay, and so what kind of topping are we going to put on today? We're going to put a tomato topping, And what we're gonna do, how we're gonna make that is we're going to use chopped Roma tomatoes. We're going to use some green onions. You could use purple onions, you could use white onion, you could use no onion. It would be fine also with no onion. And we're going to mix those together, and that is all that is going to go on some of them. On the second one, we are going to use sliced avocado. Now, when we were in Italy this time, we didn't have any with avocado on it, but we have in the past on other trips had the avocado ones. Okay, here's what they look like. No rhyme or reason to it, just about a teaspoon on each one. And we're gonna place that in the oven. Okay, now we're gonna go on to our next thing that we're gonna do. Now, burrata cheese comes in a, this is Parmesan because I'm doing something else back here, but burrata cheese comes in a container about like this at the grocery store. And it will be in water. And what it is a sort of like mozzarella, except for it is creamier on the inside. So when you cut into it, it's gonna be a little hard on the outside and creamier on the inside. Very sorry that we ate it all and I didn't have any left. So today we are gonna put a mozzarella blended with some seasonings on top of one of our sections of stuff. So one of them is going to be tomatoes. Let me clean my cutting board. The crumbs off a little bit. We don't need crumbs in our tomato, do we? These are Roma tomatoes, long and skinny. It happens to be the kind I like the best, but it does not have to be what you use. You can use any kind of tomato you have. Maybe you've grown some fresh ones in your garden. Wouldn't that be really nice? I told Riley next year we're going to have a garden. Because when the daycare kids were here, we had to have one sustainable item to be a Texas Rising Star daycare, and so we'd grow some little cherry tomatoes. They'd go outside to play and they'd eat all the tomatoes while they were outside playing, and I didn't ever get any to cook with. And so I'm looking forward to having my own garden and some other things. Okay, I'm just gonna dice these. No particular size, just a small dice will do. And then I'm gonna mix them in the bowl. I'm gonna add in some green onions with mine. Like I said, purple, white, whatever. Do you have a favorite topping? Maybe that would be perfect for yours. I've seen them with just regular cheese on it, like you would melt cheese, but not melted. I've seen them like that. I've seen them. I like them plain. I like them to use them like a dip, with a dip like chips. I like them like that too. Okay, so we're gonna finish cutting this up, but that's about how they look diced up. We're gonna add a few green onions, tires. And we're gonna let that marry, as my mom would call it, when the flavors have to sit a minute to kind of mix together. That's all we're gonna put in that. We're not putting any seasoning right in here on our tomatoes, and I'll show you why in just a minute. So we've got our tomatoes chopped with the green onion ready. We've got mozzarella cheese, just like it is out of the package. And like I said, you could use anything. You could use Parmesan. You could use, if you have burrata, burrata would be the perfect plant for me. And then we're going to use, then our third one is going to be an avocado. Let me get one more bowl. Hold on just a minute. Don't look at my messy cabinet. We're going to get one more bowl for the avocado. Now on the avocado, you could mash it like you would for guacamole, or what I do is I like to do it in quarters. I quarter cut it around the middle, and then I slice it one more time, and I think this will make a perfect avocado. Let's see. I'm gonna slice it on. Can you see my plate? Bradley, can you see my plate? Okay, we're gonna put these on the plate like this. We're just gonna put them out like this, and this is how I like them sliced like this. I also love avocado toast for breakfast. It's also the same feel, just a slice of avocados. Now, what's gonna keep my avocado from getting brown before I get it all on the toast? I'm gonna sprinkle some lemon juice on it. You can have lemon juice, lime juice, whatever you have is what we're gonna sprinkle on top to keep it from turning brown. We eat our avocado so fast that they don't usually turn brown too much. Okay. Now, one more quarter and we'll be through with the one avocado is all I'm gonna cut up for now. You can see avocado goes a long way. And so you don't need to have too much. Same thing with tomato. You know, when we were going around Italy, one of the things they kept saying was, they'd say, this is poor man's food, this is poor man's food. And it was all the things I love to eat. Vegetable soup, pasta with most of the time it didn't have any meat sauce on it, just pasta with some tomatoes. And then, of course, look how far the avocado goes. So it's perfect for this dish. Okay, as soon as our bruschetta comes out of the oven, we'll be back to top it. Okay, we've had a little time lapse while our bottom of our bruschetta was in the oven cooking. And so now we are going to plate it. And I'm gonna go over the ingredients again just to tell you how simple this is. This is great for a party appetizer or pre that Italian perfect meal that you're going to be making. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take, let me show you these. Let me get a pot holder, hold on just a minute. Here's how they look, complete. Just like toast. No big deal. They are hard on the top. You don't want them to be soft and gooey, okay? Okay, so we're gonna do 3. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so again, to make the toast part, we used 1 baguette, and we used 1 stick of butter mixed with store-bought Italian seasoning, unless you have your own that you can make from yourself, oregano, basil, and garlic. Otherwise, just put in here. And if you'll see, this was enough, but the butter and seasoning mix was enough for about a baguette and a half. And so that's the base. Okay, and so our first one, I sliced up the avocado. I poured a little bit of lemon juice on it to keep it fresh so that it wouldn't turn brown. And we're just going to plate it on top of our toast. Let's see, I want a smaller one, I think. Let's see exactly what do I want here. Okay, that's pretty, maybe one more in that little spot right there. Okay, there's 1. And like I said, burrata cheese would be the very first choice. Mozzarella pearls, the little round ones would work great on that. And then on this one was our tomato and green onion mixture. You can do it however you want. I'm just telling you the ways we saw it the most, the couple of times that we've been in Italy, were these toppings here. So again, a cheese of your choice. I would choose an Italian cheese. Provolone, a slice of provolone would be good. Burrata, mozzarella, something like that. Ricotta, maybe. I'm not a ricotta fan, but maybe. Tomatoes and green onions on this one. If you don't have green onions, purple, white onion would work. Avocado on this one. There's nothing on the avocado except some lemon juice to keep it from getting brown. Just plain avocado. And then our toast was Italian seasoning, butter, and bread. Very simple. Now, here's what's going to come next. This is a little seasoning mix that I mixed up. It is roasted garlic. You can roast your own garlic, or you can buy, Tex Joy makes a roasted garlic you can buy at the store. It's roasted garlic mixed with basil and garlic, yes. And garlic is the main ingredient in this. Just gonna sprinkle a little bit on top. And you can buy a mixture like this at the store also. I just really like roasted garlic. I think it adds a little step to it. And then of course, nothing in Italy happens without a little olive oil dribbled on top. This is the olive oil I bought the other day in Italy, but as long as it's extra virgin cold pressed olive oil, it'll be the best that you can buy. Okay, we're just gonna dribble a little bit on top, a little bit on top of this one, a little bit on top of our tomatoes. Okay, and here's our finished product. Ready for your next party. Thanks for watching. Ciao.